It's a beautiful evening here in Palm Desert, California. You'll probably be seeing this video Thursday morning. And I wanted to just talk a little bit about the price. If you're thinking about moving out of state and the cost that you're going to acquire doing a move. And most of you know I'm moving to Alabama from Palm Desert, California. And so many people have advised certain ways to do it. You could, rent a pod, you have a moving company, the old-fashioned way, get a U-Haul and do it yourself. My good friend Aaron from Texas Silver has volunteered to fly up and we drive a U-Haul back. And I was just looking at U-Haul rates for a U-Haul truck to take from Palm Desert, California to Alabama, over $7,000. Over $7,000 to rent a U-Haul truck, drive it from Palm Desert to Alabama, over $7,000. Now, you have to pay for the gas. So I would say roughly that's another $1,000. So just to rent a U-Haul truck, gas it up and drive it yourself from Palm Desert, California to Alabama will be over $8,000. What are your thoughts on this? Now I know a moving company is going to charge more, but what are your thoughts on this? It is so, everything is getting so expensive. And of course, people will say, well, it's Trump, it's Trump's fault. Somebody wrote me tonight saying, this is all Trump's fault, the high prices, blah, blah, blah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but were we seeing major inflation a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Egg prices were like $10 a dozen or whatever the heck it was. Yeah, inflation was out of control just a year or two ago. And yes, it's still out of control, but you cannot blame one man. You cannot blame one administration. So please, I don't want to sit here and get political, but I'm going to call it the way I see it. Inflation started years ago, and it wasn't this administration that started it. I'm sorry, that may offend you. You may want to unsubscribe, whatever. If you're soft, go ahead, unsubscribe. But at the end of the day, inflation's been happening now for many, many years, and we could go decades. But to sit there and blame one administration, one man, and then now we're going to blame tariffs, which they could be a bit inflationary. But look, what Sleepy Joe did a couple years ago during that term caused a lot of inflation, period. And look, I don't care if you're left, right, or in the middle. The real inflation started years ago. Now this administration is going to have to deal with it. They may cause more inflation. I don't know. There's things I like that they're doing. There's things I don't like that they're doing. But I'm going to support this administration because I don't want to see America fail. And we could fail. Look, I didn't want to see Joe Biden fail, but he failed from day one. Let's just be honest. But getting back to this, what are your thoughts on renting a U-Haul for over $7,000, driving it yourself, having to pay for the gas, over $8,000? It's absolutely ridiculous. They're almost making it impossible for the average person to even move at this point. And you call a moving company, it's probably going to be $12,000 easily, depending on how much you have to move. I don't even have that much to move. These prices are unbelievable. What's going on? And car rental prices still, I think, very high. The hotels are charging way too much. Is that this administration's fault? I don't know. I think there's a lot of price gouging going on. And what are your thoughts on that? Are we seeing a lot of price gouging going on at the stores? Should you be paying X amount of money for a box of cereal that's half full or a bag of chips that's half full? Is this really inflation, or are we seeing more price gouging? Are people being taken advantage of? Are these food producers really gouging people? Look, I know that wages have gone up. I know that the cost of electricity has gone up. Fuel's gone up. Everything's gone up. It's been going up for years. But I do think that there is, to some degree, a decent amount of price gouging going on. It just seems everywhere you turn, everything continues to go up, and everybody has their hands out for a tip. But I'm blown away how much a U-Haul now costs just to drive, 2,000 miles. It's absolutely unbelievable. Another article but an article I do want to share with you. Colorado trucking company files for bankruptcy. Indian Creek Express, filing bankruptcy, massive amount of debt, very little in assets. It looks like they're done. Semi-trailer with $15 million in Apple products and semiconductors stolen in Nevada. This happened a couple weeks ago, and it's another reminder just the crime wave we're seeing in America. You got to be careful out there. You got to be careful with your own self, your own safety. Careful of protecting your assets. If you're putting away cash or gold and silver at the house, make sure that you're being really careful with this stuff. Make sure you have a way to protect it. Make sure you have the proper tools and training, because we are seeing people literally across the country now just being assaulted for no reason. Just to rip off a truck with $15 million of semiconductors and Apple equipment, unbelievable. We've seen that the train robberies where they've derailed trains out here and have pulled up with moving trucks and just emptied trains out within literally minutes. So it is definitely a new world that we're living in right now, and you have to be extremely, extremely careful and cautious out there. You need to be walking close to God. Be praying to God for direction and safety, ladies and gentlemen, and strength. It's just a crazy, crazy time. Watching the videos and the news of what's happening on the streets of America. Most of our cities are war zones now. The police are not coming to save you. They're not going to protect you. You are on your own. Remember, when you are out in public, especially when you're in a city, you are on your own. And just watching that couple in Cincinnati, Ohio, is stuck in my head. I just saw an article on Zero Hedge on the woman who got brutally assaulted and punched in the face by a man, and she got knocked out, fell back, hit her head, black eyes, black and blue across the throat. I was just reading a little bit of the article, and it's a miracle she's alive, and yet she's being blamed. These two people who were viciously attacked are being blamed for the attack, which is frightening. And these are politicians and a police chief in Cincinnati, Ohio. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should step down. They should be fired. Disgusting. Just disgusting behavior. But it's a reminder. It is a reminder to every one of you that when you're in a crowd of people, when you're in a city, when you're in public, you're on your own. And you better be staying alert. You better have situational awareness, and you better be training. You better know how to take care of yourself. You need to know how to avoid confrontations, situations. You see something that does not look good, maybe you walk across the street, walk around it, avoid it, or turn around. It's just shocking to see how people are acting in this country. And I think it would be hard to find this type of behavior in many, many third world countries. But it is scary. It is scary because that's somebody's mom, daughter, grandmother, whatever. And to do that to a woman, shocking. So let me know your thoughts on any of this. What do you think about $7,000 U-Hauls? Any advice on the move? Maybe pods. A lot of people are saying, rent one of those pods, load it up. The truck comes, picks it up, drops it off at your house. I'm thinking about that. I'm gonna look at those rates tonight, tomorrow, see what's going on with that. But we've got to move vehicles. We're moving animals. We're moving a lot of things, and so it's not even just a truck. We're gonna have to move other things, and so this is going to be quite a challenge. Not going to be cheap. And so just to close up, just people thinking about making a long distance move. And, a lot of people criticize me for taking so long. What am I waiting for? Well, it costs a lot of money, number one. And you have to be financially secure to do this, financially secure to buy another house. You better know where you're moving. You better know that city, that county, that state. You better know it well and know what you're getting into. Maybe the school system if you have kids. There's just a lot that goes into it, and I don't advise anybody just hastily do this and go, in a couple of weeks, I think we're going to decide to, move here. Hey, that's up to you. I mean, nothing wrong being spontaneous, but for me, it was about financially making sure that, I could pay this house off immediately, that we could afford to move everything, that it was in the right city, the right county, had enough real estate, enough acreage. mandatory, had to have a pond, and this has a large pond. And so it checked off most of the boxes. The square footage was perfect, and very, very remote, very, very hidden away, which was very, very important to me, off any main road. So it just had a lot going. And of course, the state is a very, very free state. So, you know, if you're thinking about this, there's a lot that goes into it. What we do for work, even internet. I'm going to have to go to Starlink. This is a remote area, so I'm going to Starlink. So it's going to take me longer to upload videos, but there's a lot that goes into it. You know, school systems, internet, location, taxes, job, logistics, all this stuff goes into it, and there's a huge cost to doing all this. But there's very, very good positive benefits too, right? Lower taxes, lower property taxes, lower crime, lower regulation, less bureaucracy. There's just a lot more freedom. There's just a lot of positives that go with it. And to me, the positives outweigh the negatives. But anyways, I don't want to bore you to death, but I'm just looking at the logistics here and the move. Plus, I've got to pick up the puppy in September. We're probably just going to have the puppy flown out. So we'll see how that all goes. But let me know your thoughts, any advice on a long distance move. I did a long distance move many, many years ago from Chicago to California. But at that time, my parents took care of most of that, so it was pretty easy. And it was a lot cheaper back in those days too. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Then I also have to have a car shipped out too, and that's going to probably cost a few $1,000s to have a courier come pick up the car and take it out. So it's we're going to have to start getting moving here because by mid-September I'm in Alabama full time, and we're going to have some really killer videos too. New area, new environment, new things to talk about, the farmers, the ranchers, everything. It's going to be very, very interesting, I think, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to leave it there. It's getting dark. God bless every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. Stay around. I'll have another video this afternoon. We'll talk about what's happening in the markets and the economy. God bless. Talk to you soon.